Hey everyone. Alright, we're back for another portfolio review. So this one's from Steve on Twitter. So yeah, let's just dive right in. I love the purple, it's very beautiful. About home, about skills, portfolio, contact, full stack developer, I design and code high quality, scalable, responsive websites. I like the confidence in saying this. I'm Steve, a full stack web developer. I'm self-taught. I'm just reading through this. So you like that it's fast-paced. So I think you kind of understand that this type of position requires someone that's okay with a lot of change and keeping up with it. That's really good that you acknowledge that. You have a lot of commas in your sentences like I do. Let's see, my recent work. Here are a few recent projects. Dashboard. I like that it's animated. I really like that. Just kind of a mini little GIF. I'm actually curious. That's alright, we'll just do all. Can't really read this. 1 megabyte, 7 kilobytes. You're downloading a lot of data just for a portfolio. I love the GIFs. Let's go ahead and refresh. They load pretty fast on my connection, but I would actually see if you could optimize those images. Might create kind of a poor experience on mobile if they're testing it out on their actual mobile device with a throttled connection. So just something to keep in mind. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so you have kind of a little blurb. I like that. Read more, visit. You have relevant buttons. I would actually add a GitHub button as well. I love the context of read more, so you can provide more context. Visit, they should be able to see your live website. It opens up in a new tab. It was at Discord. Oh, it was dashboard. Okay. Cool. It's a lot of information. It's definitely a lot of info. You know what I wonder if I would, so when I'm hovering over something to see the actions, my focus is on this, and I get that you blur the background image to decrease the focus with this, and allow the user to put less attention but still focus on what they need to focus on. So you're decreasing the attention on things that don't matter or aren't as relevant at the time, and increasing, you're just kind of giving them more mental space to be able to focus on what you want them to focus on. So I think what I'm seeing is still a lot of noise. So if I hover over this, I'm seeing a lot of noise with the rest of these. I wonder if I would kind of blur it out, similar to how you would do it with this image. I don't know if it's gonna be the same type of blur, same opacity, but I wonder if there's a way to reduce the noise of the rest of the portfolio project so they can just focus on this. But I do like how you have that little intro to what the project's about initially. Just click read more. Okay, gaming video channel. I created it over a weekend. Is this like a theme, a channel, or is this an actual website? JavaScript test, phone XR. Okay. It's not as relevant. I'm not going to dive into your projects. I was just curious. Front-end developer, back-end developer. That's completely... Okay, so kind of just like taking a lot of mental notes, so I'm gonna say it out loud a little bit. The colors you chose and how you choose to lay some of this out, it looks good. It looks really good. Some of the things that feel kind of, I can't tell if this is personal preference or not, but just a lot of space. Like, it just, I'm not sure if splitting the buttons up like this, I don't know what makes that effective or ineffective. It just, I think this is a personal thing, but it just feels like there's a lot of space between content that's kind of similar to each other. So I get that you kind of put it on the left of this basically rectangle division. You put this on the right of the division. That's what it seems like. I would just be curious to see if you kind of reduce that space and you didn't have that invisible divider. I don't know if that's doing you any favors. Recent work here, a few recent projects. I like it. It's pretty simple. A little blurb about you, recent work. And I even think usually I recommend kind of portfolio projects be delivered faster. That's more relevant in this section, but you create a lot of line space. It feels like it's a lot of text, but it doesn't feel like it's as much text as it actually is. It looks like you might have some letter spacing. This is pretty easy to read. I like that you left aligned it. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple homepage. I like it. Social links are important. You're highlighting only that social link. The gray. So it doesn't create as much of an emphasis when you hover over it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I like the gray. I like the gray circular border that kind of just really emphasizes this. About skills, portfolio, contact. Okay, I'm curious what this looks like on mobile. Let's check it out. Menu stays fixed. Dashboard. I think these are separated appropriately. What happens when you... Oh, interesting. Okay. Oops. So, oh, was that a bug? No, it wasn't. I was just... Okay, so when you click off of the entire container, it disappears. I think that's fine. More to-do lists. These are spaced out pretty well. Feels like a lot of vertical space here. I think that's fine. I would be curious to see how this looks left align. I think there's a temptation to center align a lot of text like this, but when you have, I don't know, I think left align text on mobile and desktop is just a little bit more readable, and it's easier for the eyes to follow. We're always used to going to the end of the sentence and then returning all the way to the left to read the rest of the sentence. It's just kind of how we were raised through the traditional educational system and all the books and online readings. It just, I think people feel like this feels cleaner to center align this, but I think it reads easier left aligned. I don't know, just kind of a mini thing, but I would kind of experiment with that. Let's get, like, but with a header, okay, so let's get social. So you left aligned this, and it kind of just emphasizes, let's get social. And I kind of like that. Left alignment, I don't know really what it's aligned to, but there aren't really enough social media links for like if you push this to the right a little bit, I kind of like the little offset. That might work. Email. Nope. We're going to go back to the project at hand. That's kind of the thing with so this tilde, is that what it's called, a tilde? When you're wrapping these contact links, it it kind of looks weird like this. So you start with a tilde with a contact below when you don't really need a separator, but it also kind of signifies it's a link. I think there are different ways to be able to stack these appropriately. I'm not sure if I would just simply wrap these. It just usually looks weird when you have a divider that's not dividing this from anything. But it also can help, like if you had a left squiggly here, I'm going to call it a squiggly because it just feels good to call it that. If you had a left squiggly here, it almost might feel natural to say, hey, this is a link, this is a link, this is a link, this is a link. Now this wraps and this is a link. But the fact, it just kind of looks sloppy that you have a divider when you don't need a divider. And there are a few ways to handle that. You can definitely check out different websites that handle that. Navigation is pretty clean, fast animation, I like it. I really like that animation. I actually want to check out that animation on desktop. Cool. It's pretty simple. I like it. The problem is you don't really need it. So you have the links here, right? Okay, it takes you to the section. What I would even do, just kind of like a little additional feature, is get rid of this, and when you scroll past and the navigation gets hidden, then make this appear. I think that's a little bit more, that makes sense, because you kind of have dual navigations that do the same thing, and that can be a little bit confusing, misleading. And then when you do scroll up, this can appear again. All right. I mean, overall though, I like it. I like the font. I like the line spacing, letter spacing, emphasis on appropriate parts. I think it's simple. It looks good, and it delivers all the right information. So I don't really have a lot of constructive feedback besides what I've mentioned so far. I think it looks good. Continue working on your portfolio projects. I think it looks like you're pretty focused on the front end. To-do list, gaming video channel, dashboard could be a lot of back-end work, JavaScript tests. It looks like you could use some more complicated projects, like full stack projects that the bare minimum are CRUD-based projects, but hopefully you can get a little bit more complex than that. So I think right now you just got to work on more complex projects, but otherwise it looks pretty good. It really does. Looks clean. Is there anything else I have for you? I don't think so. Good job with this, Steve. Definitely looks really good. I think the focus should be on the little quirks that I mentioned and kind of building up more complicated projects. So hopefully you have fun with those. All right. See ya.